welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Beth Barron, who is the 2024 Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. And I'm so proud to say that she is a hometown girl right here from Morgan City, Louisiana. And you were just recognized recently. How does that feel to be at the top?
Well, I think it's exciting. It's exciting for me, but more so for our business to be recognized. You know, we're a kind of smallish tire dealer in the country, and for us to be recognized was really quite the honor. You know, for me, I get this magazine. You know, it's an industry magazine, so I see this Tire Dealer of the Year every year, and didn't really think it would ever fall to us, but it's exciting for sure.
And there's a very interesting history behind Chabill's. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
So we know your dad, Charlie Gowan, and then of course his partner, Billy Parker. And let's just put that together, Charlie, Billy. How did we get Chabill's out of that? Because I wanted to make sure that I was like, you know, in Louisiana, we change everything. We shorten everything. We have lazy tongues. And I thought maybe it's really supposed to be Chabill's. How do we get Chabill's out of that?
No, it's definitely Chabill's. That's how I was raised with it. And it's funny because I don't really know. I never asked the question. But now that you asked it, I know who I'm going to ask. I'm going to go ask Mr. Billy. He's got to have the answer. But for me, it's just what I've always known. And I think it has something to do with French influence, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to go to the horse's mouth and talk to Mr. Billy after this interview and find out.
Awesome. Well, you know, unfortunately, your dad passed away in 2019, and you pretty much stepped up to the reins. And of course, you have other siblings. You have 3 other siblings.
Yes.
How did you fall into the position as CEO?
I guess it was kind of the process of elimination. It was, you know, my siblings, the 3 of them never really took much of an interest in the business from an operating perspective. We all were very interested in the business. Obviously, it was our livelihood. It was what we knew, put, you know, food on the table for us growing up. But, you know, my other siblings took a different path, and some moved out of town. Some, you know, just decided that being a mom was more important than anything else. And this role just kind of evolved over time.
And I mean, in your life, you've had some other loves. You went to school for political science. You could have been a lawyer. You had an interest in real estate. How did you get whose idea was it for you to work your way up and be trained in this position?
So I think everything that happened for us was just an evolution of life events. For me, you know, I married a hometown boy, and you know, our relationship, we both knew he worked for his dad's business. I worked for my dad's business, and it just made sense to take that opportunity to just stay in town. And you know, my husband worked for his dad for just a year before he came to work for my dad. So then it was, you know, we were both working for my dad. So, and how it evolved was really interesting in that nobody ever really talked about it. It was just, you know, I did different jobs. I moved around the business and took on different responsibilities. My husband actually, for about 5 years, from I think around 2005, he did some different things. Pressures at home and working together. I don't know how many people work with their spouses. It doesn't always work out the best. And so we decided that, you know, we needed to have some separation at work. And so he went do some other things. He's back with the business now. He's been back for 10 years now. But it was a good break for us. And it really was in that time that I really started to kind of move into those operational and management roles. And my dad really, you know, I think recognized that I was a good option. I mean, you know, again, it was never a formal, hey, Beth, you're going to run this business. It was never anything like that. It was just, as time went on, I learned enough, did enough. I guess he felt I was smart enough that he let me start making decisions and kind of move into this role.
Dare I say you were the favorite?
I was not. I would never say I was the favorite. I know I'm not my mom's favorite. She's going to die that I said that, because she says she doesn't have favorites. But my sisters and I firmly believe my brother is the favorite.
Okay.
He was the only boy. It makes sense that he would be the favorite. My dad was different. He never really, I never got the feeling that he had a favorite. I mean, I think he was proud of Charles, my brother. He's a, you know, big time lawyer, has a really big career. You know, I think he was proud of all of us in our own way, but I never really felt like he had a favorite necessarily.
Well, we're definitely going to keep this family oriented and talk more about family because you have your children now working with you.
I do.
How's that?
It's good. It's good. They're all, in my opinion, they're all still young. They want to feel like, I feel like kids nowadays ask more questions. Like, I never asked my dad anything like, where's this going? What am I going to do? What, am I going to take this? We never had those conversations. I never really felt a need to. I found nowadays the kids are very focused on, what is your plan, Mom? Like, what do you want to do? Like, how long are you going to work? And, what are our roles going to be? So we do have a lot more conversations about things like that.
It sounds like you're going to keep the legacy going.
Oh, yes,
so
100%. That is the plan. And my son, Charlie, who probably will run the business one day, is very much in tune to that.
All right, we're going to take a short break, but come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Let's get right back into it. We have Beth Barron, who is the CEO of the year for Modern Tire Dealer. So happy to have you here. Congratulations to Chabills. Now, you mentioned earlier, you said, my children ask a lot of questions. And I was asking, do you feel confident now, that you're able to maybe step back a little bit and allow them, because, again, it's a family business, and you have each of your children working in, different capacities. So are you seeing that, the difference between how maybe your dad did things and how you do things?
There's definitely a difference. I mean, my dad's mentality was if you weren't in the office, you weren't working. And with technology today, we all know that's not the case, right? I mean, I can run the business from wherever I am. I can see I have access to whatever information I need. It's really easy to be on the road and stay in touch. I have a great management team that's not family. I mean, my husband, obviously, he is family. Have to include him. But I have two other people that work on my management team with us. One is Martin Michel, who's been with us for a lot of years, who is our VP of retail sales, who, I mean, when I leave, he's really the guy in charge. And then I have a commercial manager, Eric Roundtree, who runs the commercial side of our business. And again, I'm pretty hands off on that side of the business. So I have people in place now that really, when I'm out of town or not available, who are really kind of answering all the questions. Now, my kids, as they grow, they're still, all of them are 30 or below. So as they grow up, I mean, they're going to do more and more, I think. And, we'll see how they evolve. I mean, it's, so much can change. My son, Charlie, who's, works at the office with us, he is part of our staff and, can answer any question anybody has pretty much. He grew up working in stores, and so he knows the business really well. But it's an evolution. I learned by osmosis. My dad never sat me down and said, you need to know this before you can run this business.
Okay, and that's what I really want to ask you. Sometimes women, right, we get this like, we don't know anything about cars, we don't know how to change a tire. Were you one of those young ladies growing up, you're like, I can change a tire, I can change my oil?
No, I was not.
No, you're a peer
And my dad wasn't. That's the thing. I don't think my dad could change his own oil.
Stop it.
I swear.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, that was just not, he grew up in New Orleans. He was a street kid in New Orleans. He did not know, he had street smarts. He did not have mechanical. We always laugh because he could never fix anything at the house. So he's not handy, okay? And so we didn't grow up very handy.
Okay.
I did run stores in my time, but I have never changed oil. I have never put a tire on. And my dad's thought was, in order to run this business and run it well, you didn't have to be able to do that. So I would say my kids, my male children, probably, they've done that. They've worked in the shop before. They've done things like that. My daughter, she'd look at me like I was crazy if I told her she needed to go in the shop and change her own oil.
But you are CEO. You're at the top, and you're a woman. How is it to be a woman CEO in this industry where it is dirty and oily? I mean, tires, vehicles.
You know what? It's a business like any other business, in that in order to stay in business, you have to make good decisions. You have to have good people around you, and you have to make a profit. And that's what we're in business to do, right? We're in business we have 140 employees. It's my job to take care of those people, right? To make sure that they can put food on the table every day and they have competitive wages. And That's any business, not just the tire business. Being a woman in this business is interesting in that, I've been at this 30 some odd years I've been doing this, and there's still not many women at the table. For a while, I think I was a novelty. I got asked to be on every board in every organization and come to every meeting and speak at groups, and because I was a woman who knew about this business, which was a rarity. Still is a rarity. There's only, in the top 100 tire dealers in the country, there's only 3 of them that are run by women, and I'm one of them. So it's still a rarity, but I think it's changing, but it's been fun.
Awesome. That's interesting. All right, come on back. We've got much more to cover right here on The Voice of the Coast with Beth Barron. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Long. Beth Barron is my guest, and we're talking about the honor of being the 2024 Motor Tire Dealer of the Year. Is this your first time receiving that honor?
It is. It is. It's actually, I'm the first woman ever to receive the honor. So it was very, it's been around a lot of years. I think I'm the 34th or 35th person they've honored, something in that neighborhood. But yeah, it was quite the honor to be selected.
And did they tell you why? Like, what was the reason?
The criteria is that you run a good business, that you are active in your community, that you that you have a good reputation in the business, in the tire business, in the industry circles, those types of things. And there's a committee of people who are influential in the industry that make the selection.
18 stores, and 140 employees in South Louisiana. What's the future looking like for Chabill's?
I think the future is growth. I mean, we believe that if you're not growing, you're dying. And, our focus over the last 2 or 3 years have been growing the locations we have now, hiring more people, just growing the volume that we're doing in those stores. But also keeping an eye on other opportunities, other markets, if things come available, whether it's through acquisitions of tire dealers that want to get out of the business, or if it's ground up locations. I mean, we're open to all of it, and it'll be a slow grow. We'll probably do it ourselves and finance it ourselves, and that's kind of how we've always done it, and we want to continue to do it.
Talking to you prior to this interview, you talked about your dad did the hard work. I mean, he did it all. I guess you came in and maybe you're just maintaining it. But, who is Beth at the table? Who is Beth as a CEO? Is she, and I mean this respectfully, is she a dog, or is she just like,
No, I'm very much, I'm very passionate about our business. And I'm very passionate that we do things the way we're supposed to do them. I sit on a lot of boards. I'm asked by vendors to sit on a lot of councils to give my opinion on where I think they should go in this industry, what decisions they're making at a high level, because I am well respected in the industry. I do know a lot about this business, and it's because I've grown up in it, and I'm extremely passionate about it. But when it comes down to it, I have a great team that works with me, but they all know at the end of the day that the decision will be mine. And if we don't all agree, and 98% of the time we do agree, because we all are pulling in the same direction, right? So as a team, we do agree. We do see things the same way. But when it comes down to it, this is my responsibility. And that was one of the hardest things for me after Dad died was, I was making a lot of the decisions, all the decisions before he died, okay? But I could always go to him. I could always talk to him. I could always say, Dad, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And now I don't have that anymore.
Would you say he's proud?
I think he would be proud. I do. I think he would be. Not of this necessarily, of this honor, although I think he would think it was really cool. I think he would just be proud of what we've continued to grow and how we've grown. And we opened 2 locations since he's been gone, and so we're just continuing the fight, man. We're just doing all the good stuff. So
awesome. I'm loving it. We've got more that I'd love to ask, and you guys just stick around with us. We'll definitely give you more. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook. We are KWBJ TV 22. Stay with us, and we have one more time for another question. Well, let's go back to Dad again in that case. So he and Mr. Billy got together. Mr. Billy was just an acquaintance of his. How did they meet exactly? Like, what was the relationship
I think
like?
they're very close in age, so I think they knew each other in high school. I think that I'm not really sure exactly how the two of them came together. I think Dad knew when he had the opportunity, when the BF Goodrich guy, when he was talking to him, he needed somebody who knew something about cars. I mean, because my dad could sell ice to an Eskimo. I say that all the time. He was a great salesperson, and he was great at communicating with people what they needed on their cars. He just couldn't fix them. So,
Mr. Billy.
Mr. Billy could, and Mr. Billy was a saver, and he was he was a hard worker, and so I think the two of them made a great team.
Awesome. All right, we'll take that break now, but come on back right after this, and we've got much more to cover. Welcome back, and this is the end, but we're going to make it good. Let's get back into it with Beth Barron. I want to go back to, I guess, your first loves. You went to school for law school. You wanted to, like real estate. You're still pretty young. You got the business going. Do you think you'll ever jump back into those things?
No. I think I didn't really know what I loved back then. I mean, I was 20. I think when I graduated college, I was 21 years old. I was young. I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I had options. But falling into this business and going to answer phones for my dad, which is where I started, was the best place I could have ended up. And there is no other career for me. This is it. I will do this as long as, I really want to. I don't know that I will do it till the end of my life, but I will do it. It will be the only thing I do as a job, for the foreseeable future. I do think my husband and I both want to step back earlier than Dad stepped back. Mm-hmm. I think it's important for the next generation to have the opportunity while we're still around. And I love to travel. I love to see different things. I love to go see other tire businesses. We do that 3 times a year. So, traveling is my thing. And, when I do step back, that'll probably be what we do.
Motor Tire Dealer is the magazine.
Modern
Tire Dealer. Thank you. And in that article, the title was Passionate Cheerleader. Is that who you are?
Well, I was not a cheerleader in high school. Okay, let's start with that. I was not a cheerleader. I was an athlete, and for me, I love to compete. I think Joy, who wrote the article, and she's precious, and I loved spending time with her. I just kept saying over and over that it was my job to be the positive one, to be to run this business, and to always find the bright side, and to be encouraging. Martin, Carrie, Eric, I wouldn't say they're the bad news bringers, but that really when it comes to the day-to-day, they're the ones doing a lot of the correction, a lot of the, this is what we need to do, guys. It's my job for them to look at me and see positive. And I think that's how she came up with the whole cheerleader idea, because I love the people that work with us, and I want them to feel like they're doing great things and that they're meeting all their goals, and I want to lead them to do that. And I think that is where the cheerleader came from.
Okay. Now, you did, of course, say you opened up 2 new stores, and prior to this interview, we talked about moving into northern Louisiana, and you said no because you have some friends there, and so you don't want to compete with friends. But what about moving into other states?
I think there are some opportunities for us, maybe in Mississippi. We used to have a good friend who owned a dealership out in New Orleans who had stores in Mississippi that he ended up selling his business. Once you sell your business, that's it, yes. Right? That's it. All that the gentleman's agreement stuff
yes.
is off the table. Mm-hmm. So I do think that there'll be some opportunities, but there are opportunities still in Louisiana for us. I mean, that I think there are plenty of locations that we could go to, but nothing is off the table for us. Okay. I mean, and nothing's off the table for my children. I mean, they all want to stay in this business and aggressively continue to build the business, and I think that'll be great for all of us.
And that's what I wanted to ask about the children. Are they really happy they made the choice to be in the family business?
I think it's funny. I think it's about life evolution and kind of trying to look at what your options are and where do you want to live and what do you want to do. And so many young people move out of this area and think that there aren't opportunities. And I was thankful. My son Charlie, who now lives in Berwick and works with us at the office, he lived in Lafayette for a while. He worked outside the business for a while. And he decided his passion was working here. So, and I think that's the same for my other children as well, is that they want to stay home. And so, what better way to stay home than working for the family business?
How blessed is that to have your children
I'm
still
so
here?
blessed. It's
have
such
a
a
family
blessing.
business. Yeah, so many people and their children have moved away or are thinking about moving away.
I know I'm blessed.
Awesome.
I'm absolutely blessed.
Well, thank
especially
you
when I
very-
have grandchildren coming.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Beth. We wish you well. 18 stores, over 140 employees. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Keep it locked right here, KWBJ TV 22.